What's up, Vankers?
Hello, Vankers.
How is everybody doing?
How are you doing? We got 1 week off and then a triple header, and then this season is done. Finito. Kaput. And
Are you gonna miss it? Are you gonna miss the season, or are you happy to see
I'm
it
ready
go?
I'm ready for this shit to be done. I would like to see some fun stuff happen. I'd like to see a great Abu Dhabi with some stakes. But you know, the season's been wild. We have Oscar and Zach Brown and Andrea Stella all doing Beyond the Grid episodes this week in a kind of very interesting way. We'll be discussing that. We'll also be discussing what the fuck has gone on at the Ferrari organization. You know, Matt, for the people who listen to this pod from the early days, you know that we were on the Ferrari is a mess kick, you know. I wouldn't say early, because people have been suffering with them for decades, but, you know, after a certain point, it got a little bit tired, but now the Ferrari is just doing Ferrari things. Obviously, John Elkann talking wild shit in the press in the most unnecessary self-own that I maybe have ever seen. Mm-hmm. But we're discussing all that and more on this episode of the Red Flags Podcast, brought to you by BetMGM. Matt, should we start with Ferrari? Let's start with the boys in red.
Yeah, heavy emphasis on boys, children.
Yeah,
children.
Childish.
Yeah, he did the whole like toxic parent thing where he went out of his way to compliment everybody. Right, he complimented the mechanics for the pit stops and the engineers for how far improved the car has been, having not won a single race this year.
Yes.
I mean, the car is objectively worse than it was last year.
Yes.
But somehow it's improved. It's improved in all the lifting coasting they've had to do, and the disqualification that they got in China, was it?
Yeah.
Where did they get disqualified? The one time that they were fast?
Right.
Yeah. Like, so this idea that he went out of his way to say that those guys were doing well. I think it might have been Gunther that might have pointed out that he did compliment Fred Vasseur. He kind of left him out. He didn't say great job by management. So he just kind of complimented the sort of blue collar guys, left out Fred Vasseur, and then said, "But these drivers, man, they gotta shut up and drive, and shut up and drive. It's like the shut up and dribble kind of. But totally. We've heard the shut up and dribble before, but it usually comes from pundits. Doesn't come from your own boss.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, I think, like, as I said in the little intro, we used to do the Fuck Ferrari segment on this show back in the day, where we would look at the Ferrari organization, the organization that is Ferrari, and the kind of the place that it holds as having this I'm better than you, but then push comes to shove and they prove time and time and time again that they're not, that they're living off of the laurels of a few periods of great success. And most recently, really the Schumacher era, because, 07 and 08 are kind of these weird, they win the titles in 07 kind of by default.
07 was bullshit. 07 was bullshit.
And then 08.
Constructors. They didn't even win the constructors in 07.
Yeah. 07 was bullshit, and then 08, they win the constructors, but they lose out to Hamilton in 08. But really, it was the Schumacher era that they're still kind of riding high on. That is it's given the fucking Yankees
25 years it's been.
Yeah.
And you want to know something else? Before Schumacher, they hadn't been great since Lauda. Since fucking Lauda.
Yeah, it was a 20-year stint, then Schumacher, and now it's been another 20 years. And you know what?
They won one with Scheckter, and then in like the 80s.
Right.
And then I forgot what exact year. And then it was Lauda, who they ran out on a rail. You want to know why Lauda left? Lauda left because Enzo Ferrari couldn't keep his fucking mouth shut. And in the 76, this is like a problem. This has just been there forever. Enzo Ferrari. So Lauda in the 76 in the Rush, they actually don't show this in Rush.
Yeah.
This is quite interesting. In 1976, you guys have probably all seen the film. Lauda, he gets in that horrible crash. He almost burns to death. He takes 6 weeks off. I think he misses 3 races maybe because they didn't race as often, 2-3 races.
Right.
He heroically comes back. He's covered in bandages. He fights back. He holds on to enough points to be competitive with Hunt.
Yeah.
I mean, because what people are, he had that championship was his. If it wasn't for that crash, I mean, it was over.
Yeah.
But he's holding on. They get to the last race. He thinks everyone's considering that this is the most heroic thing this guy's ever done. This guy's anyone's ever done. This guy's a hero. He's an Iron Man. But then this is what's so interesting is this guy that you think is such a hero and so brave, so heroic, so freakishly courageous. We get to Japan. It's the same sort of. What's interesting is that in the Nürburgring where he had the crash, he was kind of leading the sort of driver union, kind of the proto union, and he was saying we shouldn't race.
Right.
Too dangerous.
In the
way.
They
had a vote, and he lost by 1 ballot.
Right.
So, and they raced, and he almost died. So then Japan comes around. The situation is almost identical. He's like, I don't think we should race. Once again, outvoted. So then he does I think he does 1 or 2 laps. I can't remember. I think he goes into the pit lane and he's like, fuck this, I'm out. And he basically cedes the championship to Hunt. Hunt has to just finish 3rd or 4th, and then he wins the championship. And Ferrari calls him a coward. This guy who did all this work to come back, risked his life, almost dies, comes back. Ferrari calls him a coward.
Yeah.
And you know what Lauda does? Lauda says, I'm going to remember that. And then the next year, 77, he beats the shit out of everybody. And with 2 races left to go because he secured the championship that early, he doesn't even go to the last 2 races. He quits. He retires. He says, fuck you, I'm out. Because he was that pissed at Ferrari. He starts his own airline, but then he comes back. He goes to McLaren. He wins at McLaren. Okay? Yeah. And so I think, and then eventually he does come back to Ferrari after Enzo's dead and helps Luca Montezemolo, Ferrari's heir, not literal heir, but the guy who took over after he left. He helped Montezemolo engineer the Schumacher era. And then, I don't know how they let this happen, but so Lauda was responsible for their resurgence for those 2 championships in the 70s. Then he helped resurrect. He was the one that helped get Jean Todt in the 90s. And then what happens? Somehow they let him. They get him. They let him slip off the payroll. And where does he go? Where does Lauda go? Mercedes.
Yeah.
So it's just they let every time they let Lauda go, they get bitten in the ass.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, that's just one thread. I mean, anytime you read about Ferrari, you see these sort of patterns of just fumbling.
No. I mean, it gets into the ethos of what Ferrari is and where they continue to be and where their blind spot continues to be, which is that there is a sense of entitlement. They're like petulant children. They're like, but we're Ferrari. And so we are no one can ever say anything bad about us. We're the best despite what happens on track. And there's scapegoating. You need to, Ferrari's having these woes this year. The drivers are not even being that disrespectful. I mean, they're answering honestly, but not in a way that to me felt ever like it really crossed any type of normal line. I mean, there were a few times that Gunter talked about when Lewis was kind of saying that he had notes for the engineers and that kind of stuff, and how maybe that wasn't like the best vibe. But like, I think that Charles Leclerc certainly has a right to fucking complain, because they have taken the best prime years of that kid's fucking life. He's getting married now. He's on. Listen, now it's a fucking slow march towards being a middle-aged fucking guy. That's where Charles Leclerc is, and all of his prime years were spent at Ferrari losing races. And so for Elkann to not only come out and slam Lewis, which would be a crazy thing for him to do, given the fact that he paid him as much as he did, and given the fact that like Lewis has the stature that he has, but to like lump them both in there and say both of these guys just need to shut up and drive because our engineers are doing great and our pit stops have been good. Our pit stops? Baby, who cares? I think I said this in the last episode. Who gives a fuck about a 1.9 second pit stop when you have to lift and coast in every goddamn corner? Like, This is just, it's entitlement at the highest level. It's insane. It's insane, and it deserves to be criticized in every single way. I feel bad that we've been like letting Ferrari slip the last however many years, because we liked the move with Fred, we liked the move with Lewis, and we were kind of like, well, it is what it is, and our eyes have been focused on Mercedes. I think we need to focus our ire and our hatred back to the fucking the team in Maranello.
They've been good in spite of themselves. They've been good because great people have decided, you know what, I'm up for a challenge. I want to make Ferrari great again. That's why they've been good, is because it's like winning in New York, winning in LA, winning. That's why they've been good,
right? Because
of who they are, not what they are, right?
Yeah,
and it's actually their egos, who they were, and it's because of their egos. Their unearned egos, because of what their great grandfathers did.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that stubbornness that obstinance that Enzo had is the only reason that Ferrari is bad, but it's also the reason they're great, because he was so stubborn, sticking with the sport when it wasn't profitable, when people were where people were getting out because people were dying, because that was the thing. In the early days, like Mercedes got out because people were dying and they couldn't stand the heat. Like
after the Le Mans,
all these little teams were getting out, because Ferrari used to be a little team. Right. All these little teams, they were going broke. They couldn't deal with the pain, and Ferrari didn't care. He was so addicted to racing, so stubborn. So that was like in many ways his superpower that made him that makes it such a legacy team. But it's also the reason, and kind of numb to criticism, because people would criticize him all the time, and he was numb to it. Right. So it's like, and he siloed himself with like yes men, and people that only told him what he wanted to hear, and that sort of was what kept them alive for many years. This sort of kleptocracy that in many ways served him well in terms of keeping him around, keeping the team alive, but also was like why they were the last team to put the engine in the back, and thought aero was for pussies, and there was so much infighting, and it's always been such a toxic environment if you read any of the histories. And the only time they've really been super successful in the more modern eras is when a bunch of foreigners come in and take over. Lauda was successful there because he didn't care. He came in and was like, this car sucks. This is what you need to do. And he was able, and Ferrari was ancient at that point, and he was desperate and old enough to receive criticism. And since then, he eventually, and then he eventually left because of Ferrari criticism. Prost couldn't They got rid of fucking Prost. They had Prost. They got rid of him.
Well, he had the audacity to say that the slow car was slow. Yeah. That's what he did. He had the audacity.
Yeah, he called it.
Listen, I think is there a point to be made about a driver like saying too much shit in the press to the point where it maybe it is a harm to the team, that people aren't motivated, and it sows discord through the garage? Yes, I think that is a point that can happen, and there's a discussion to be had about that. I don't think that either of the Ferrari guys have even approached that this year. I don't think they've even sniffed that this year. And what it feels like is that like they're so almost like thin-skinned over there that like even the slightest criticism is viewed as some type of assault on their egos and assault on the way that Ferrari does something. And you want unity. You want the team to all be motivated. And sure, you don't want like a driver saying unnecessary shit. But at the end of the day, they're the ones on the fucking field. They're the ones who are actually having to like drive and be in front of people in the piece of machinery that you gave them. And they're the ones that are like sacrificing their bodies and potentially their lives, even though obviously it's not nearly as dangerous as it was. But they are they're the man in the arena. They are the people in the arena, and they're the ones who have to deal with the shit that you've given them. And for him to say, because what he said was really like, it was so crazy. He said that the team mechanics are, quote, winning the championship with pit stop and performance work. That the engineers have improved the car, but the rest is not up to standard. And then he addressed the drivers directly, saying they need to focus on driving and talk less. They need to focus on driving and talk less. Because the season still matters and the team could still push for second in the Constructors' Championship.
Even if they were being a little too loud and a little too messy in the press, you then going out and being loud and messy in the press is not helping the situation. Right. The actual move is to pull them aside privately and be like, hey, shut the fuck up. Yeah. Privately. Don't embarrass them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, two wrongs, quote unquote, doesn't make a right. So, so even, I don't think they're over the line, but even if they were.
Well, and this is coming off.
Blow up in the press and sink to their level. So,
right.
I mean, he's a fucking Nepo baby.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. It's typical. It's typical. We've seen it with Dolan. Right.
Yeah.
This is what happens when it's a family-owned team, and they're
coming off, but he's also saying this off of the fact that like they won they won in WEC.
Ferrari doesn't run that team. Ferrari does not run that team. AF Corsi, or there's another that is why they win these championships in WEC, is because they have nothing to do with the running of that team. They give them the equipment and then they fuck off.
Yeah, and it's also a fucking it's not a similar series to fucking Formula 1. Like it's I mean, what do they call it? It's like they balance out the weight, right? It's a balance of performance series where the engineering, like, yeah, that is a more driver dependent fucking thing. Guess what? If you had Lewis Hamilton, dude, Antonio Giovinazzi is out here in WEC looking like a hero. And we saw what happened to him in fucking Formula 1. Don't give me that, like, Antonio Giovinazzi's, like, got it, and Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc don't. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway. It's really, it's so crazy. And it's so, like, this team just has an ability to be so up its own ass. They're so up their own ass. And yeah, the whole culture. I just really think about it. Like, when's their next championship coming? When do you like I don't think
if they don't nail the engine thing, then it's not coming in the next 4 years.
No.
You know.
And Charles Leclerc is really is Charles Leclerc really going to stay there for 4 more years as they finish second to Mercedes and McLaren? and maybe Red Bull? Is he really going to sit around and wait? Is the pull of Ferrari that fucking strong? I hope that it's not, and I hope that he gets the fuck out. Because who knows
the problem is whoever has the juice, Max will probably just go there. So it's like that's the new state of play.
But it's also not as like foregone who's necessarily going to have the juice throughout. You know, it's like it's not necessarily like, oh, they have the. It's like, you know, the last 2 years it was Red Bull for the beginning of this reg set, and then it was McLaren. So like, there's room for other shit, and in their attempts to make this thing more on a level playing field. I mean, we've seen more out of position podiums this year than we ever have. Hopefully, these new regs will continue to be that, and there will be opportunity for a more kind of like diverse set of champions. Benkers, this episode is brought to you by our friends over at BetMGM. This season is coming to a close, and we got Vegas coming up, baby. Have you heard of it? Las Vegas? Yeah, I think you've heard of it. It's the place where you can place your bets in real time. But if you can't have the privilege of being in Vegas this year, then you better be placing bets on this race with BetMGM. If there was ever a Formula One race to throw some money down on, it would be the Las Vegas Grand Prix. And I'm looking right now. Max Verstappen currently a plus 150 to win this race. Lando Norris plus 250 to win this race. George Russell plus 400. Kimi Antonelli plus 800. Oscar Piastri plus 900. Charles Leclerc plus 1,400. Lewis Hamilton plus 2,200. This is to win this race. We know Vegas. It's a great race every year. Who knows who's going to win? We just talked to someone who used our bonus code DADDY, which I'll be telling you about in a second, and she placed a bet on Lando Norris to win this championship in the dog days when he was getting his ass handed to him by Oscar Piastri, and it's looking pretty right now. And as you know, we've teamed up with BetMGM this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have a special offer for our listeners each week. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code DADDY, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Just here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app. You sign up using bonus code DADDY. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game or race, and you will receive up to a $1,500 in bonus bets. If your first bet loses, just make sure you use the bonus code DADDY when you sign up. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 for New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 21 and over only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
When was the last time you had a root beer? Like a proper, creamy, cold, foamy, straight out the can root beer. Well, guess what, Venkers? You better get your hands on some Mug root beer because they're today's sponsor. And, I mean, you can't beat that singular root beer flavor. It brings out that inner dog in you because it's all about having that inner dog, whether it's, you know, saying hot F1 takes or actually winning an F1 championship. And this season of F1 is all about who has that dog in them. We got this title battle, teammates going at it. Max Verstappen, we know he's got that dog in him, but do these McLaren boys have that dog in them? Well, guess what? They better get some Mug root beer in their hands because if they want this championship, they're going to have to let out that inner dog. So next time you're craving something cold, frothy, and unapologetically flavorful, grab yourself a Mug root beer. You can find Mug at your local store or head to mugrootbeer.com/find-mug to see where you can get your paws on some. And give them a follow at Mug Root Beer because, hey, if Max, Lando, Oscar, these boys trying to win this championship can find their inner dogs, then you can too. Arr, arr, arr. All right, let's get off of Ferrari and let's move our ire over to Sky Sports. Because Sky Sports has a new rollout of a new channel, baby. Sky Sports Halo. I can see your halo, halo, halo. This is already fucking Beyonce coded. And this is a new channel aimed specifically at female sports fans. And the rollout has not been met with a lot of excitement from the female sports fans online. So to give us Matt and I are over here just be it men. Just being men on the internet.
Out here patriarching. Out here patriarching.
But we're going to bring on one of the most powerful women in motorsport, one Jenny Sue Birnbaum, producer Jenny, on the pod to discuss this Sky Sports Halo rollout. Jenny, how you doing?
That's right. I'm doing well. Well, I'm doing well, but I'm a little pissed about this. So the matriarch is here to talk about why.
Yeah.
This is
wild.
Okay,
talk to us about this because Matt and I were discussing the idea of having a culture channel, a channel that focuses on the culture. Doesn't sound so bad. I mean, I want to hear what Charles Leclerc's wearing. I want to hear about I want to hear about some of this stuff, and I want to hear about female sports. But can you enlighten our cavemanish male brains with what's going on?
Totally. I mean, that culture is one thing. Pop culture, kind of the entertainment aspect, the fashion, the vacations, the lifestyle. People in general are interested in that. Gearing this so specifically to women and girls and saying like, well, this is all girls want. This is what they want to know. And we're going to make it just a TikTok channel and refer to it as the little sister of Sky Sport for the girlies,
yes,
for all of you.
This was from their like press release. Sky Sports Halo will act as the little sister account. Okay? That's what you guys want, right?
And the fact is they're like, well, it's girls, so we make it pink, or else they won't know to look for it. Like, how are they going to know to find it unless the logo is pink? Thank you so much. I would have been so lost. So the other thing is that F1, all these other sports that have boomed in female viewership and fandom, like, people just want to see that covered on Sky Sports, on ESPN, on these sports outlets. Like, girls and women are fans of the sport, period. Anyone can be a fan of the culture and the fashion and the entertainment, the lifestyle of it, period. You don't need to say, well, this avenue, only girls like this, so we gotta cater to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the stupidity of this thing is like, you can have a separate channel that covers the culture of some of this stuff.
Sure.
But to be like, this is the girl channel over here.
Yes.
That's where it is.
Women have been fighting for equality in sports. And then this just diminishes it. It's like, and also fans, like, they appreciate sports in general. So for it to be like, well, and you're segregated again, like, because only girls can live here and be here, and this is how you consume sports. It's like
the Cootie channel.
Right. All the women want is to be mainstream too. Like just can we, I'm tired. I'm really tired.
Well, we've got 3 posts.
Tired.
They put up a they put up a
post.
Only
I think a TikTok channel.
Yes, and it's only a TikTok. It's only they're
see.
relegating it.
Well, they're hoping it does really well, and maybe it becomes more. But right now, I don't know if the TikTok channel is even going to exist in a couple of weeks because they posted one. They posted one clip that I think they
the executives are like, man, are they all on their period or something? Jesus Christ.
They posted one video that they've taken down, and it was a football soccer clip, and the caption on it was "How the matcha plus hot girl walk combo hits," which doesn't even fucking make sense. It would be when the matcha and something else like
what
combo
was the
hits.
video of?
It was of who's that guy who's the soccer player? Game. He's really tall, and he kind of looks. He's like Nordic looking. He's blonde. And he looks like a gigantic baby.
Yes, yeah, I know. Yes, I know who he is.
He looks like a big boss baby.
Yeah,
he's like the best. He's like the best guy.
Yeah, I know who he is. I don't know his name.
Anyway, it's like him scoring a goal.
Yeah.
And it's like when the matcha hits. Anyway, they've taken that down.
It's like,
They've
how
posted-
can women understand the highlight
Yes.
if it doesn't have some slay mama caption?
Yeah.
Right. They need
Mama.
they need the
Stay
nail
mama.
emoji, or else they won't know what's going on. The other thing we
Yes.
were talking about
Yes, queen. As he.
The other thing we were
fucking-
talking about off camera was that, like, there are outlets that cover the culture that are like the audience is predominantly female. Fine. But these outlets don't say, like, I think I was saying before, it's like Access Hollywood for women, like
Yeah,
E Entertainment for girls only. Like, it's
Yeah,
not a
Bravo-
Pink E.
No
Bravo.
boys allowed.
Real Housewives of New York is I watch it. I watch it because my girlfriend watches it, but guess what? I find it entertaining. I watch Vanderpump Rules. I watch The Valley. I watch Bravo. And
Yeah,
now
you'd
is-
be
is-
interested in this culture that Halo's
Yeah, I
presented.
want
like,
in.
you too.
Let us in, Halo. I can see your Halo. Halo. Okay. Here's the question: what if? I think there is something to be. I think the labeling it for girls was a huge misstep that
Crazy.
has obviously not been successful so far. But I do like the idea of a channel that, because, like, listen, I don't necessarily want the Sky Sports feed during the race or whatever to, like, be necessarily highlighting some of this stuff. I would like there to be, like, a place that highlights some of the culture, the whatever.
Sure.
Obviously, you take away this is for the girls, but what would our version of if we were in this board meeting and being like, this is how you're going to do this channel?
I think you hire a Ted Kravitz. You need Ted Kravitz. I think you also need a Ted Kravitz during the race to just give you a little bit of goss. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
you
like
need
when it's a
Nico.
really-
No, Nico
you
would
need
kill at that.
Nico Rosberg.
Brittany.
You need Brittany Rosberg during like the really slow parts of the race when it's like
Yeah.
a real snoozer in between stints to be like, Maggie didn't show up for this one, and I think that and Lando looked really sad, showing up to the paddock alone. Like, you need just a this is you do it off camera. You have a Ted Kravitz piped in, and it's somebody. It's like you get the mess. I think it's Nico.
I'm thinking
the messiest, bitchiest.
I'm having
person.
an image. I'm having an image of Joan Rivers.
Oh, she would have. Oh, rest in peace. She would have killed.
I think
That
it would
would've
be
been the
fun to
best.
have like a la, even like on the. It's like you
Get
got
Nikki
Brundle.
Glazer. Get like
Yeah.
someone fun. Like
Yeah. It would be fun to have like a Brundle does the grid walk, and he's talking to celebrities and whatever, and that's all fine, that's whatever. But like getting someone who's like express purpose is there to just be like, who the fuck are you? And like get in there on the, no sporting side. I would actually enjoy.
I was like,
that.
well, that's you too. That's you too. So
No,
this is our
also-
pitch.
This is what we should do. Is we should treat it like we should be obviously outside the paddock, which is where we belong, and every paddock should be treated like a red carpet event.
right.
And we get
Right.
to photograph and interview everybody coming in and out, and be like, "This
Right.
is so and so. This is so and so. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!" And have like a wall of photographers and treat everything like it's a film premiere, because that's
Right.
what these things are supposed to be. They're supposed to be big. Now there's 90 of them. They're less big a deal, but each one of them is supposed to be treated like they're a Grand Prix,
Genius.
a Grand
That's a
Prize.
genius idea.
And yeah, so
But
that's
let us be a part of it. It's
Yes.
not just for the girls.
Let the boys
And you
in.
thinking- Let the boys.
and
know
everybody's got to roll
who
into the paddock at a certain time.
Magui is wearing. I need to
Yes.
know who Alexandra and Kelly are wearing.
If they
Yes.
want people to watch free practice, that's what you do during it. Like
That's fucking,
that.
I would. Please let free practice have
Just a
Nikki
goss
Glaser running
session.
around.
Just be a goss session. Just be like, you know what I heard this week? You know what they Yuki flew into Brazil and no one was there to meet him. Like it's just goss.
There's F1 for kids, right? There's F1 kids. Have you seen like what these?
Yeah.
It's like there's like a little animatronic like Gabriel Bortoletto like holding his hands in his fucking face in Brazil,
Yeah, that was great.
and he it's a whole other feed. And yeah, I think there should be an F1 culture, not F1 for girls, F1 culture one, where I just see, parents, like Lando. I want to see Lando's mom. I want to see Ollie Behrman. We have an Ollie Behrman's pit stain watch on Ollie Behrman's dad.
Yes,
because that's I don't need to know how fast the pit stops are, but I do need to know the progression of the pit stains on Ollie Behrman.
They should exclusively interview the parents and significant others and like people who support them.
Well, us, because we need, we've already had Nicole,
this is our pitch.
And so it's just a matter of time before we get all of the parents of all these drivers on. Anyway,
the Infinity Stones.
There it is. Hire us, Sky Sports. Let us fix this broken product that you've presented to the world and everyone's hating.
You know what? Support women and let me executive produce it, okay?
That's right. Women in Motorsport, a.k.a. Jenny Sue Birnbaum, numero uno, and let it just be culture, not for the girls, it's for everyone. It's for everyone, bitches. Okay, let's move. Thank you, Jenny, for joining us.
Thank you for letting me kvetch. Love you, Vankas.
Vankas, when we started this podcast, we thought we were just going to be talking on mics, but now we're a fully fledged business. I'm a businessman, and part of that business, a big part of that business, are incredible merch, including this shirt, the Wankers shirt. You can see that if you're watching this on YouTube. There's a button right underneath this video. You can buy our exclusive Gunter Steiner merch. And guess what? If you go to our website, you know what we use to sell this merch? Shopify, who this episode is brought to you by. Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the United States, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started to the Red Flags Pod. Get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build and create a beautiful online store to match your brand style. Get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you. Easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling and strolling. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. If you're ready to sell, you are ready for Shopify. So turn your big business idea into... with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/redflags. Go to shopify.com/redflags, shopify.com/redflags. Vankas, this episode is brought to you by Skims. Yes, have you heard of it? Guess what? Skims, it's not just for girls, it's for boys too. And I have so many pairs of Skims underwear in my room right now. I'm wearing a pair of Skims underwear. Oh yeah, right now. And guess what? They are my favorite underwear in my drawer. I'm slowly getting rid of all my other underwear because the only thing that I want on my body is Skims. It really is the best underwear that I have. I'm not just saying that. I would say that whether they were paying me to or not. They've got the cotton 5-inch boxer brief. They've also got the stretch 5-inch boxer brief. I love both of them. I got thick, strong-ass thighs, and I can chafe easily. So I need something that's going to cover that. And if I'm just lounging around the house, I go for that cotton. If I'm going to be balling out, because I play basketball at my gym sometimes, I gotta have my stretch boxer brief. So you can shop Skims Men at skims.com and let them know that your favorite two Vankas sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. And if you're looking for perfect gifts this season, honestly, if you want a good gift for your guy, the Skims holiday shop is now open at skims.com. Okay, in other news, Oscar Piastri was on Beyond the Grid, and he was talking about this season, talking about his relationship with Lando, talking about a little bit of the fallout after both Silverstone and the fallout from Monza. And it was interesting. Did you watch it, Matt? Have you seen it? Or have you just maybe seen some of these clips or read some of these quotes?
No, I've not seen anything of it. I don't watch hostage videos. I don't support terrorism.
There's a little bit of a vibe of that. He talked about the after Silverstone kind of did that sit with him. How was that? He said it bothered him for a week, but in the next race he felt fine. And he's like, but you look back at something like that, and yeah, it still bothers you that happened, blah, blah, blah. but just kind of brushed it off. Then kind of implied that after the Monza thing that he was kind of carried that with him a bit into Baku, that was kind of on his mind given the Baku weekend, which could play into that, which I think we all felt and at least somewhat thought was present there. But he also, because Baku, he had a rough Friday. Baku was Baku a sprint? No. I think he had a rough Friday. He had engine issues, and that was what that was. But then they asked him about like his relationship with Lando.
What about Singapore? What about Singapore?
They didn't. I don't know if they really hit on Singapore.
Was he interviewed before Singapore and they just aired it now?
No, this was after Mexico, I think, or I think it was like more. It was pretty recent.
Must have been told not to ask about Singapore because that was also a fucking big one for him.
Well, it's interesting.
He was really pissed about that.
Despite what he has said was they asked about his relationship with Lando and how is it given this season and given everything. And what he said was, he was like, it's the same. If anything, he was like, I feel like if anything, we get along better because we've known each other longer. And yeah, while we have moments on track, they usually stay on track. And we both like respect each other enough to not have it bleed over into other stuff. And, I fucking bought it. I mean, he may be being obviously, told to say X, Y, or Z, but I don't know. Everyone fucking hates Lando goddamn Norris. Even fucking V-Carb was throwing up a fucking... People on the V-Carb team were giving him the thumbs down on the podium. They got reprimanded. They had to put out a public apology. I'm just
he's Max's rival. What are they supposed to do?
Well, V-Carb.
Yeah, it's the same team.
For sure. I'm getting fed up. I'm getting
Brian, you win. Just take you want
Lando
to win the championship
because it's tainting it. Because it's tainting it. It's like giving this like little like it's giving this like bullshit asterisk. No, actually they've completely like emotionally terrorized him and that's why he's bad and X, Y, and Z. And what happened in Zandvoort and what happened in Monza was like, how is he ever supposed to recover from something like that? And I don't know, as this whole discourse has gone on, I've been like, well, I don't know. I just don't think that Lando Norris got that like a ton of grace last year when they made him like give up the win for Oscar in a kind of similar circumstance when he was, leading the championship and trying to go after Max. So to like kind of blame McLaren for just completely like emotionally destroying Oscar when I don't think that Lando got that same grace last year when I could argue they did the exact same thing to him, and to like cry that Lando's I think McLaren got completely eviscerated for how they handled that thing. Completely eviscerated. I think they did, but Lando didn't like. I don't think that Lando got like a ton of grace for that. People were like, "Well, he's just a fucking like he's like people like." I think the narrative was like, "Yeah, that happened," but like Lando let it get to him, so fuck that. That's
I think you're conflating a lot of things. I think some people were like, "Oh, he should have disobeyed team orders." I think some people.
Right.
I think there was a lot. I think there was a myriad of responses to that event. I think some people were like, he should have disobeyed team orders. I think some people were saying like he shouldn't have been a dick, right? Because he was like he let it linger and then he gave it back. There was a diversity of people that had a lot of people were like, why the fuck did McLaren even let that happen? That was crazy.
Right. I don't think that McLaren got off scot-free.
There was outrage in a lot of different directions that I think you're sort of simplifying. I think the main issue was that a grave that Lando dug for himself, I'm sorry, was that he said that if you had he dismissed guys who had faster cars, and then he was given the fastest car 2/3 of the way of the season, and he along with McLaren, because it wasn't completely his fault, but he kind of dug his own grave there. He couldn't fucking make it happen with 2/3 of the way to go in the season. He couldn't fucking make it happen. And I think if you had stuck Max, if you had switched places, if you had done a fucking Freaky Friday, if you put Max in the McLaren 2/3 of the way of the year, and maybe, honestly, probably a few Red Bull people, because that strategy and those pit stops were so bad.
Right.
It wouldn't have even been close. Max would have just made it happen. So, like, I think that's where a lot of it came from. So to just say, well, Lando's just Jesus Christ on a cross is a little unfair. So I think some of it came. That was also part of it. It wasn't just like you were saying Lando got vilified because of Baku. It's like, no, Lando got vilified for a number of different reasons. He was already choking to Max last year alongside McLaren. McLaren and Lando as a unit were blowing it.
But here's my point.
Baku represented the absolute paragon of them blowing it once again. So it was the exclamation point on a fucking combined effort of blowing it together.
I agree. Last year I'm with you. What my annoyance is now is that now Lando has stepped up, has put in really good performances as it's getting to crunch time, and the entire narrative is like, well, who actually gives a fuck, because McLaren has like totally emotionally destroyed Oscar to the point where like they always wanted Lando, and it just feels like everyone's doing everything they can to take the wind out of the like Lando Norris championship sails. And there's like this mad dash and effort from like a lot of the internet. I mean, I didn't quite realize how, Lando is like, when you're winning, I think, Max got booed. It's part of the territory, like being the person that's hated when you're, leading the championship and whatever. But I just think that we'll see how these next few races go, but there is a very real world where Lando is the champion this year, and I feel like there's just this kind of like need for it to be like actually not about that, and not about him stepping up, and not about him being clutch, and it needs to be that like no, this is the way that like they fucked him. They fucked Oscar.
Correct. And that's what happened to Max when he won in 2021. It was exactly this. It was like half the world was like, this is bullshit. And then he progressively just shut everyone the fuck up. Right. So like, until it became undeniable. So like, that's just kind of like what it is, I think, when when there's a changing of the guard. You're either a fucking blip that nobody respects, or you shut everyone the fuck up. And he's going to have to fucking this is what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to continue to shut everyone the fuck up till he's undeniable. Because I'm sorry, but like he's going to, if he wins this, like if Max had just won the 2021 championship, he won the 2022 championship. People were like, well, the car was a rocket ship. He won the 2023 championship. Well, it wasn't until like 2024 when he did that shit in Brazil that people have now finally shut the fuck up. Okay. So like it could be, you're saying it's unfair to Lando. It's just like kind of unfair in general. So it's like, it's not like a Lando specific thing, it really isn't. Like it isn't until like this year when Max is like somehow like come back and like been in the hunt that like literally there aren't any Max haters left. They just like, they're all like in an insane asylum at this point. Even Lewis fans are rooting for him at this point. It's like, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. So like for you to be like, well, like he's going to win this one and people are still talking. I'm like, yeah, that's what they did for Max. That's what they did for Max. So like, that's what it takes. That's just how our society works. That's how our society works. Sorry.
Right. But guess what? And Max fans at the time would have been like, shut the fuck up and suck my fucking dick. He is the best. And I, as a Lando guy, would be like, well, everyone can shut the fuck up. And I'm not just going to like say.
But you somehow want more grace for Lando than Max got. No, sorry. Like this is how the environment works. This is how it works.
I think that
it's not going to happen. He's not going to get more respect after one chip.
Max won that first championship in like the most controversy that's like ever existed in this sport.
Yeah, and there's controversy on this one too.
Yeah, yes, in like a
there
more
is.
like Michigasse meddling kind of way.
Yeah, there is. I mean, the papaya rules. Honestly, there's no like clean narrative. And honestly, if he had won it cleanly, there would have been there'd be haters too. They'd be like, well, he had the fastest car. You know, there's no way you're going to win just one championship and people aren't going to say, well, you got to win a couple. You got to you got to make a statement. Otherwise, people are going to doubt you. That's just how the fuck it works. Like, nobody gives a shit.
As a Lando fan, I just wanted him to win one and I just get it, the monkey off his back and fucking can everyone.
Yeah, that was like me, Brian. If I could just sell one pilot, you know, if I could just sell one pilot, you know, that's just not how the fucking world works.
You got to keep doing it. He's got to keep winning. God damn it.
Or you could just be like 20, you know, or you could be one of those guys who just says 2025, suck my dick. Right. Scoreboard, bitch. Scoreboard, ho.
Right.
You know, that.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
It's what it is. I don't know what... it's interesting, though, what's happening over at McLaren. Because, like, I don't know. Oscar... You could say it's like good to a gun to his head, and you could say that like it's whatever. But I don't know. I watched that interview, and it didn't feel like... I don't know if Oscar... I don't think of Oscar as being a good liar. Someone who can, like, you know, and
I don't think he hates
there's something
Lando.
Over there.
I think that there's truth.
No, not about Lando, but just about his time at McLaren. Like, they're so bought in over there, and that's what they were talking about because they had Stella and Zach Brown on the pod as well. He was kind of like, I've never seen drivers in this kind of scenario as in control as you've gotten these two guys to be. And, like, how have you done that?
That's true.
And it was interesting. Stella said, like, it's because they've been a part of all of these decisions. Like, when we made these decisions about how we were going to do this year, we didn't just say, this is what we're doing, and there it is. Like, we asked them what they wanted. We asked them, like, what X, Y, and Z, you know. And so they had, like, ownership over it. Now, obviously, there was been, you know, times this year where it felt like, wait, that's not what we agreed to, a la the Monza pit stop. But I don't know. They've done something that's kept them. And it was also interesting, given what you were saying earlier about Ferrari and how, like, they just kind of blocked out the hate and they just, and that he was kind of surrounded by yes men. Because they asked them point blank, like, how do you respond to the people that say that you meddle too much? And Zach Brown, it was a question to Stella. And Zach Brown was like, I'll just say, we ignore them. We ignore it. We don't listen to it. We don't let that, like, enter into this factory. We don't let that enter into, like, our inner nucleus. And it's an interesting thing because there has been so much discourse. There has been so much hate towards them. But they have, I think, at least seems like in terms of for Oscar and Lando, kept a good job at it not, like, totally poisoning the well within them. Like, other drivers, I think, would have said fuck this and been mouthing off more and been trying to get the fuck out. And Oscar, to this point, maybe he'll leave at some point down the line, but he's still on the, like, yeah, like, it's fine. It is what it is. This is part of what happens in racing. I don't know.
You buy it. You buy it.
I buy him. I watched the interview and I was kind of like, I do kind of buy his delivery of it. I kind of did buy.
Yeah, I mean, my first counter to that was like, well, he is collapsing, but from a team point of view, they got what they needed out of him. Like, if he collapses at this point, they got what they needed out of him, which is enough points to secure them the championship by a healthy margin. And if he collapses and Lando wins the championship, like, that's a good. Now, what isn't a good result is if he fucking storms off. But I mean, that's also the juice that you have when you have the fastest car is like, if Oscar leaves, they can get somebody else tomorrow. Right. They can get. So that's the other sort of interesting.
Yeah, and I think if they're going to continue to be the best car, I mean, we're going into a reg set, but if they can continue to be number one, and have like the next 3 championships up for grabs, then it behooves him to not blow this thing up. Now, if next year they come out and they're kind of nowhere, maybe there is a world where Oscar kind of where he reveals that actually this wasn't okay with me, but there was kind of just a little bit of like a cultish kind of vibe to it, where like we don't listen, like no one's has the internet here actually, like, you know what I mean? Like
those are suppressive. Those are suppressive people.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but that's interesting that well, you can't be mad at this thing that's actually not working out so well for you because you agreed to it. You signed right here on the dotted line. So
right.
And now Oscar, you've got no one to be mad at really but yourself.
Right.
Which is what it ends up being, right? Because now Oscar's like, well, I just wasn't fast enough. Which,
well, we'll see.
I don't know, but for your ego, which is everything.
Yeah. What are you saying?
For your ego, which is everything in the sport, right? It's almost healthier to be like, well, they fucked me.
Right.
I think that's what the Oscar fans are doing, right? It's healthier to blame in a lot of ways, to blame some higher power, because that's why conspiracy theories sort of exist, right? We want to make up conspiracy theories because conspiracy theories give us a sense of control.
Right.
Because there actually is a higher power manipulating things. Because you don't want to believe that some crazy guy shot JFK in the head.
Right.
Like that, because if that's true, then we're really just all out. We're just on a planet that's spinning out of control.
Right.
You want to believe that there are forces that are at work. So you don't want to believe that Oscar is just shitting his pants right now, because if a guy like Oscar is shitting his pants, then none of us have any hope. Right. It's just easier for us to believe that there's some kind of hidden hand.
Yeah, I think especially also like because there were times this season where Oscar just looked like so confident, so like on top of it, that like it needs some type of explanation. But I also just leave room for, I don't know if like this, like he's still a 3rd year in, and I don't know we'll see how this season does for his whatever. And there's still a world where he comes back strong, and one bad result from Lando or a crash and all of us and Oscar getting a 1st or 2nd place, and this whole thing is, it flipped on its head, and there is still a world where he wins this championship. But there's still like room to grow, I probably think, for Oscar here. Like there's still room for him to get better, even just like we've seen it, like last year he had some of these woes that we're now seeing like kind of creep up again, like what we saw in Austin with the tire maintenance, that kind of thing. Like I think that he's made a ton of strides this year, but if he continues to grow exponentially, then there's still like
Yeah, I think his fans are just I think as a fan, you're just kind of worried that like once you lose like this to somebody, you're just kind of tainted. Like look at Alex Albon, right? It's like once that's why Hads are so reluctant to go, because once you just get beaten like that by somebody on such a big stage, like once you lose the WDC, it's just kind of tough to your teammate. It's just kind of a tough road back. He's only in his 3rd year, so maybe that's mitigating, but it's just a blemish that's hard to unfuck. Unfortunately.
I mean, look at it's different, but like Alonso, people still rate Alonso, but like it was his chance for that 3rd championship was against Hamilton, and then Hamilton came in, and they were even on points.
But they both lost it. But they both lost it. He actually never lost a championship to a teammate, and they tied in points.
Right.
Now the thing that made it so impressive was that Lewis was a rookie. So I was like, oh my God, like.
Yeah.
But there was manipulation there too. I mean, it was that was another McLaren mess. But
well, what Zach Brown said that was kind of interesting. They asked like, what if a 2007 happens? Like, would you congratulate Max? Would you consider that a failure? And they said if that happens, then I would shake his hand, say good job, and I'll get you next. Like he left room for like that happening because Gunter was like, you need to prioritize one of them because it's like he was like, you need to prioritize Oscars. If Max comes in and steals this thing, then you're fucked. And they in this thing were like, we leave if that happens, then it happens. It's interesting with McLaren because it's like you do hear that, you're like, wow, there's just this element where it's like the heart aspects of the heart are in the right place. But yeah, the way that this whole year has happened has just kind of just tainted it. It's just tainted the whole
interesting.
thing.
It's interesting. It's like, I think they agreed to all these, what's fascinating is they agree to all these things theoretically beforehand. And then they get actually, when the rubber meets the road, and they're actually in the heat of the moment, they point back to the thing that they agreed on 6 months ago, and
right,
and it's different, right? It's like kind of reminds me, Brian, when we started this podcast, and we're like, we're going to say shit about everybody, and and we're not going to care what we say, and we're just going to go like shoot from the hip and say the truth, and I was thinking, well, we're never going to meet. It's easy to agree to these things like before you're confronted with any stakes, right, physically confronted. But then when you're like in the paddock and you actually see Esteban Ocon and he kind of looks at you, you're like, oh my God. And it's like, no, this is what we agreed on. But we said when we were like collecting stimulus checks, like this is what we were going to do. To actually be confronted with the reality of your decisions, it's harder to stick to them. But Zach Brown's like, no, this is what we agreed on. But wait a minute, everyone hates you now. No, we agreed on this.
Yeah.
We agreed on this like in a room, in a boardroom, like before we were actually confronted with the stakes. So it's like, but I guess you got to admire that they're just like, nope. We said like in a vacuum, theoretically, from a philosophical point of view, that we actually don't care about the Drivers' Championship.
Right.
So that's kind of what it feels like they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely stuck to their. I mean, despite all this shit, I mean, there's just been so much shit being thrown at them.
I mean, it's so funny. It's like you get mad at politicians for like flipping or flip-flopping, but then we get mad at these guys for just sticking. For just obstinately sticking to something. Is there a middle ground where you flip flop sometimes? It's
right. Well, I think that's the thing with I think that it's interesting because we're going back to the Ferrari stuff, right? It's like there's an element where blocking out the hate is good, but then if you're so averse to listening to any of the hate or any of the feedback, then you risk yourself at being like not considering maybe something that is correct or would be helpful because you're just so knee-jerking like, no, like, I don't fucking listen to that. Like, I don't listen to any of it, even if there's, a nugget of truth in there that would benefit you.
Yeah,
it's a difficult balance.
I think it's a bunker mentality that I think is a double-edged sword. Us against the world, which I think
exactly
can cut both ways for sure.
Few other things to cover. Toto Wolff is selling a piece of his Mercedes AMG Patronas Formula One team stake. It's not stock because it's privately owned company, but he's selling a piece of his. It's valued at $6 billion with a $6 billion valuation over at McLaren. He's gonna remain CEO. I think nothing changes about his like influence on the team.
Damn it! I wanted someone to bear hug his ass.
Yeah.
No, I think he's selling 5%.
Right.
I wonder what the 5% is worth because what's interesting is that when he bought in, he spent $50 million for 30%, I think 30%.
Crazy.
The valuation when he bought in, I want to say I think it was 12 years ago. 12
Yeah.
years ago when he bought in.
Yeah.
Valuation, Brian, guess what it was? Oh, I mean, I gave it away when I said it was 150 million.
That's insane.
So I'm bad at math, but that's like
this 5% would cover his initial investment probably, and then some.
Yeah. So 150 million in the chat. What is that X to 50 billion in value?
Let's see. His if it's worth $6 billion, he owns what 33%. He owns a third of the team, right?
Yeah.
So $6 billion, 6 divided by 3 is 2. His worth is $2 billion worth. So
So he turned 50
0.05
million into 2 billion.
That's crazy.
And by the way, his 5% worth 295 million. So he turned 5. So yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, he's 5% of his initial investment is now worth,
well, it's actually
4x.
5%. This is real fun for
this is beautiful. Watching us do math in real time is crazy.
30%. No, he's jumping down from 30% to 5. So that's actually.
Oh no! I thought he's jumping down from
5% of his.
He's selling 5. 30. So his 30. He's going to have 25%.
25. So that's more like 1/6 of his investment is
right,
or something like that. So 1/6 of his investment, which is. Like $9 million, $9 million, right?
Right.
Eight something, 9 something.
Yeah.
Or something. No, 5 million. 5. No. What's 1/6 of $50 million? 1/6 of $50 million. I'm going to look it up. Fuck.
8.3 million.
8.3 million. So $8.3 million has now
turns
been
into
turned
295. That's fucking insane.
Yep.
35x.
35x.
35x his fucking thing.
35x.
God damn it, Toto.
Jenny, I want you to trim that to make us look smarter.
No,
okay.
Keep it all in. Keep it all in. Couple other things before we let you all go. Audi did a little livery reveal, baby. They came in hot. They said, look at our livery. It's going to be half red, half chrome.
I hated it because I wasn't invited. Not that I wanted to go, not that I wanted to go, but it would have been nice to have been invited, Brian.
That's right. There needs to be more paint on the cars. They're making sure that the liveries aren't going to be covered with carbon fiber.
They should have done that 4 fucking years ago. I've been saying this for 4 fucking years. I should be running the FIA. Thank you.
Mohammed Ben Sulayem is the only person eligible to run for the president of the FIA, so I think he's going to win. Bully for him. There's that. And Alpine had a break-in. Someone broke into the Alpine factory. They're still trying to figure out who they were and what they were looking for. But
some guy forgot his wallet inside.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, because I don't think anyone's breaking into the Alpine factory to find out some trade secrets, because that's the blind leading the fucking...
Some guy went in, looked at the schematics, and was like, never mind.
They said, fuck this, I'm going to go to the Louvre. That's way more valuable.
Yeah. Brian, you know what I've thought about this? I thought about this.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen an Alpine in the wild.
I don't think they exist, do they?
No, it's a sports car. It's like a Mustang. It's like a brand of it's a brand of performance car. Spin-off of Renault.
Right. Oh, I thought it was just like the name of the racing team, but yeah, I guess
no. There you go. That's great brand awareness for you. A guy who's been covering Formula 1 for 4 years doesn't know. No, it's a great job, Alpine. So, guys, I want you in the comments. Also, subscribe to this fucking thing.
Subscribe.
In the comments, tell me how many times in your life you've actually seen an Alpine on the road. I'm very curious because I haven't seen it one time.
Yeah, I mean, they must be in France, right? They must be in France. If you live in any French Vancas out there, that's where they must be. Anyway, subscribe to the Patreon because we're going to need, we need to subscribe to the Patreon because there might not be any ads on this podcast for a little bit, but that's okay because there will be down the line. We love you. Vegas is coming up. We're going to be in Las Vegas. We're going to be doing a meetup. If any Vankers are going to be there, stay tuned for that. We have a bunch of really cool stuff planned for Vegas. Going to have a bunch of great content coming for you from there. We'll also be at the casino, absolutely ripping the blackjack tables. Matt, are you still solid on your Vegas predictions? Want to make any amends?
I don't even remember what I said. I think I said Max.
I think we
Oscar,
both said
Lando.
Max. I think you said Max, Oscar, Lando. I think I said Max, George, Lando. I want Max Verstappen and George Russell to be. I think they're gonna put on a show in Vegas for us.
Yeah, baby.
I think both those cars are gonna be hooked the fuck in, and I think they're gonna put on a little show for us. So I'm excited for that. And before we go, we talked about the Patreon. You gotta subscribe. And if you want to become our absolute top Patreon donor, benefactor, then you can become a daddy. So we got to thank our daddies of the pod. We got to thank Kayla, Robin, Jordan Texera, Jay Lingle, Spencer Grieve, Javier Mera, Sheila Valeri, Chandler, Ali Santana, Carla Juarlo, Kimberly Whalen, Alonce of My Face 69, Donya Denad, Deadbeat Daddy Muhammad, Jimmy, Kimmy, sponsored by Mommy of the Pod, Hollister 584, Delusional Science Fan, Kat, Future Dog Toward Dion, Steph Grossi, JB Fresh, Laura, Emily Gillenwater, Cody Hull is my F1 daddy, Branch W, Keep Up the Science Hate, Hunter Scruggs, Salmonella, Mozzarella, I'm a Leclerc fan, and yes, it hurts, Jay Kess, George Russell is Evil Peter Parker from Spider-Man 3, Matt Edwards is always right. I wish I was Max and Danny's love child. Delaney Andrews, Henry Caskey, Miles Lewis, Alexander, Maggie B, Kaylee Breyer, Eva the Y, Devin, aka the future Dr. Sullivan's PA, Courtney Frazier, Yuki Sonoda's other mother. Jenny is the reason I am a daddy. Megan, Aaron, Pineapple the Y. Matt has a secret boner for Carlos Sainz. Unfortunately, it's Gary. Carolina. My name is AJ and fuck the HOA. K-Man can fuck smash my door any day. The official F1 race program and its executive editor. Sarah, I got tickled by the Tifosi. Hey Jet, good luck out there. Allison Sane, Zhuge, F1 Dude Company, Trent Slickman, Code Brown, Sonoda, Jerome Ferreira, Call It Pinto is a fraud. Aaron, Shahid, Jeans, Rockstar, Chohoon, Shake and Bake, Kata, Lick My Balls. Stay fierce, Charles Leclerc, Truth Bringer, Mama Burns, Arthur Leclerc is hotter, Card Lost Science, OP Goblin, Right Meow, James, DNCTT, Finny, Denny Kev, Not Magnuson, Mike, Bobby, Lando Norris's unofficial girlfriend, Winkin, future co-host of Red Flags Podcast, and Lizzie Y, honorary pod, daddy of the pod this week, every week, Nicole Piastri, become a daddy pod, go to patreon.com/TRF pod, become a benefactor today. We love you, Vegas. We'll see you in Vegas. Goodbye.
Bye, Vegas.